What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Keep It Kula Podcast. My name is Jacqueline, and this is episode number 45. So this episode is going to be a little bit different because the second half of the episode was filmed almost a week ago. It was filmed on Sunday, and today is Thursday. So I'm just going to give a little bit of some new updates, and then we'll go into the episode. So to begin, my last episode was a few weeks ago. March Madness happened. Florida got the win. It was quite something. Florida versus Houston. It was a crazy ending. Walter Clayton Jr. Stepped up. Even though he wasn't having a great game, he really stepped up. So that was something great to see. He will be going into the draft, and I believe prior to this tournament, he was a projected second round pick, and now he is a possible mid first round pick. So I think that's the best thing about March Madness. It's really when we get to see new players shine, and he's one of them. Something else that's pretty crazy about March Madness was Duke, and I will be getting more into that in the second half of the episode. Something new that happened today is Aaron Rodgers appeared on the Pat McAfee show to talk about his future. And he kind of said a lot while also saying nothing at the same time. He said that retirement is not necessarily on his mind, but it's also not out of the picture. Rodgers has not made a decision yet if he's going to play or where he's going to play this season. There was a lot of talks about him possibly going to the Giants, but then those all fell through and the Giants ended up signing Russell Wilson. Rodgers is kind of in his own world right now, and I think he's going to take a long time to decide. I personally think he's going to retire. I really don't see him coming back with all the injuries he's had and the failed seasons he's also had after leaving the Packers. I know his first year with the Jets, I think the third snap of the game, he got badly injured and had to miss the whole year. And then last season was a bit of a disappointment as well, even though the Jets were able to acquire Davante Adams, Rodgers' former teammate. I think his career is done. He will go down as a Hall of Famer, but I think it's time to call it quits now. Something really exciting is that the NBA playoffs are starting this weekend. The play-in has already happened. Warriors-Grizzlies was quite the matchup, quite the game. The Warriors will now be facing the Houston Rockets, which I'm actually really excited about. However, the matchup that I'm most excited about is Lakers versus Timberwolves. I think it's going to be unreal. As I've said before, I'm a Raptors fan for life, but Timberwolves are kind of like my second team. So I will be cheering for them this playoffs. I think it would be quite something to see them go all the way. It would really show how powerful Anthony Edwards is. I think he's the most exciting player in the NBA of the last decade. So they're my pick of the winner. I know it's a hot take, but I'm really excited. Luka, Ant-Man, LeBron. I'm really hyped up for that matchup. Pistons-Knicks is also something I'm really excited for. Kate Cunningham, Jalen Brunson. I'm super excited for that. I think it's going to be great. We'll definitely have a lot more when the playoffs begin, but I just wanted to put that out there that the Timberwolves still are my vote of the winner. It's a very hot take. To even be able to beat the Lakers will be very hard. I think it will go to a 7-game series. I think it'll be a brutal series. I think it'll be tough. I think it'll be dirty. I think it'll have some fights, maybe some little trash talking. I'm really excited for it. I think it will be the matchup of the first round. Also, a little bit of hockey news. The Toronto Maple Leafs will be facing off the Ottawa Senators in the first round. It will be the Battle of Ontario. I know I've said I'm a Rangers fan. I haven't really been following hockey the past few years, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, but I grew up a Leafs fan, so obviously I will be cheering for Toronto this playoffs. Obviously, who doesn't want to see the Leafs win? As someone who grew up in Toronto, grew up as a Leafs fan myself, I became a Rangers fan about 10, 11 years ago, but I just haven't really been so into them lately. There's a lot of controversy also going on with the team, so I'm not really putting a lot of focus on them, so I am cheering for the Leafs, obviously, in this playoffs. Battle of Ontario, I believe it's the first time those two teams are facing off in the playoffs, at least in the first round, in over 20 years. The Leafs have had a great year. Are they going to be able to win it all? Honestly, I don't know. I'm a bit of a Leafs hater. You know, I always say that, maybe they get they get past the first round possibly, but there's no shot second round. But honestly, this year could be different. obviously we just have to see them step up, right? They have a great team with Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Nyes. I think they are a great team, and let's see if they can get it done this year. All right, that is going to conclude this part of the episode, and now you will be watching the second part, which was filmed a couple of days ago, where I talked about March Madness, where I talked about the Blue Jays extending Vladimir Guerrero Jr., where I talked about Ovechkin's history-making goal. So make sure to stick around and watch that part, and thanks a lot. So I said a little bit before about the Florida win. That was super, super exciting. An amazing March Madness. The Final Four was so much fun to watch. We had Auburn, we had Duke, we had Houston, we had Florida. Amazing matchups. Came down to the wire, all 1 seeds. No complaints with that. Duke, I must say I was shocked. I had Duke winning it all. I was shocked that they did not. And I wonder if Cooper Flagg will be staying at Duke or if he will be moving on to the NBA draft. I'm very curious as to what other people have to say about that. I think he should stay 1 more year. College basketball is very different than it was a decade ago. Now, you can make a lot of money while in college. You can make money, not as much as you're making in the NBA, but you can make some really great money because you can market off yourself now. That became a new thing about 4 years ago. So Cooper Flagg staying would be shocking to some, but I think to others it would make sense, right? He didn't get to finish this year as a champion. They had an amazing team, and I'm shocked that they did not. I think he's going to go to Duke 1 more year, run it back, and then go into the NBA draft the next year. At the same time, though, who knows if his stock will fall? Who knows what kind of players will come alive next year? If that's something he wants to risk, because he knows he'll be a first pick this year. So I'm really curious as to what he's going to do. But as someone who's so dedicated to his college team, I would be really surprised, or I would not be surprised if he decides to stay 1 more year. Again, shout out Florida, an amazing national championship game. Walter Clayton Jr. didn't have the best game of his career, but he was able to come alive when it was needed. He had an amazing tournament. I'm really happy to see what that whole team was able to do. They're a really great team, so shout out them. All right, moving on to some NBA talk. This past week, Luka Doncic returned to Dallas for the very first time since being traded a little over 2 months ago to the Los Angeles Lakers. It was quite an emotional scene at the beginning when the Mavericks shared their montage of Luka of all his time there since being drafted in 2018. He was there for a really long time. He brought them to the NBA Finals. Never got to get them. He was never able to win it, but brought them to the finals, and was just, the most exciting player to watch there, and he loved playing there. And during the montage, Luka got very emotional, and he had a towel in his hand, and he had it there right before it started because he knew he was going to cry. It was really emotional. Obviously, he did not want to be traded. This trade shocked the world, shocked the NBA world, that's for sure. Luka did not want to leave Dallas, so it was really, really emotional to see him return. He had a great game. He scored over 40 points. He really, I wouldn't say he showed the fans because the fans were so sad to see him leave, but he definitely showed Nico, the guy that he traded away. So, I'm happy that he had a great game, but it's definitely hard to see such an emotional return. I would probably consider this the most emotional trade of all time, the most heartbreaking trade of all time, right? A lot of times when we see trades, a lot of the guys want to leave, right? Someone like Jimmy Butler wanted to leave Miami, right? But Luka didn't. Luka was very expressive about how much he wanted to stay in Dallas. So this trade was just really heartbreaking, and you really feel it. You really feel for the fans. You really feel for him. Next, I want to move into the Phoenix Suns. The Suns, at one point, were one of the top teams in the NBA. You had Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. That is quite the 3-pack that you want on a team. However, this year, they are missing the playoffs. They had a downfall, and those three guys are just not clicking anymore. It shows that not every, super team works, right? We saw it in Brooklyn. We saw it a few times in Brooklyn with, Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, and then we saw it with KD and James Harden and Kyrie Irving. So it doesn't always work, and clearly this one is not working. And I think Kevin Durant is out of Phoenix. I don't know where he's going to end up, but he's definitely out of Phoenix. And I wonder if Phoenix is decide if they want to do a clean sweep, get rid of Bradley Beal, get rid of KD, maybe even get rid of Devin Booker. However, I don't see them getting rid of Devin Booker. He's been there since the beginning of his career. He has been their leader. He has been a fan favorite. You know he loves it there. I don't see him leaving. I don't see them getting rid of him, but who knows? Who knows what they're going to do, if it's for draft picks, if it's for a different superstar. There could be another blockbuster, right? No one thought Luka was going to get traded from Dallas. So who knows what's going to happen with Devin Booker. A little bit of baseball talk I want to get into. The Toronto Blue Jays have extended Vladdy on a 14-year deal worth $500 million. I love this signing. I'm so happy to have Vladdy staying with us for the next 14 years. I think he's our guy. I think we can really win it all with the help of Vladdy. I think he's an amazing player. He's someone you do not want to give up. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about the season that the Jays are going to have this year. They're off to an interesting start, a little on and off, but I really see something bright with them. We had George Springer, we got Vladdy, we got Bo. I'm really excited for this year, and I think the Jays can make a splash in the MLB. And lastly, I want to talk about Alex Ovechkin passing Wayne Gretzky in all-time goals. What an amazing achievement that was. One of the coolest things you will ever see is him shooting that puck for the record. And it was so amazing to see. It's amazing to see Ovechkin do it. He has been in the league for so long. He has been with Washington for his entire career. He won a Stanley Cup with Washington. This is really an amazing end to his career, which, well, he's not retiring yet, but, you know, when he eventually does, he will obviously go down as one of the all-time greats. I hope to see him retire as a Washington Capital as well. He's been there my entire life. He's been there most of, obviously if you're born in the 2000s, he's been there your entire life practically. So I'm so happy for him, and I wish him all the success and scoring some more goals. And just amazing to see him beat Gretzky's record, and having Gretzky there and all the speeches that were made after were really great to see. All right, that is going to do it on today's episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.